Hey guys, it's like the next day, and I got a couple of hours to work on the trailer, so I want to continue staying on that first cabinet situation that I have built in there, and with that is going to be the venting to the outside. So I went to Home Depot the end of the other video, and I did pick up a couple of vents. They come in all different sizes. The ones I grabbed are 16 by 16, and they got a decent louver to them, so that should be able to allow pretty good air flow through them, but yet hopefully keep water out for the most part. And again, this trailer is, for most intents and purposes, is going to be parked at an area to work, not really kind of driving around all that much. So driven rain might be a different thing, plus there's nothing saying I can't cover them on the inside or the outside. But I got two of those 16 by 16 on the inside. I think we go from right about here, the cabinet kind of comes across and then drops down early on this side. I think we come in right here. So yeah, we're coming right to, this is what that one steel beam is screwed onto. So I could make one there and one there. That should be more than enough air handling capacity. And as far as height, I'd say we could probably bring it up to probably about this screw right here. So I'm going to get to getting on that, going to mark it out, get a little cutting wheel, we'll chop a hole through the inside and get those attached. Sounds kind of faint. I just used a chalk line. Yeah, it's kind of there, but I could see it. And that is roughly 13 by 12. I'd rather have it a little undersized than oversized because I could always tweak it, but I want to cut into that wall and see what we have on the inside and how it's going to be able to attach those. I have a feeling I'm not going to use those holes. I'll probably just re-drill them and try to, catch the studs. And then we still have to cut through the wood on this side yet. But I think we'll start with the skin on this side. We'll do one, we'll see how that works, and then we'll move on to the other one once we learn our lessons. Hey, look at the bright side. I get to cut a little dent out of it. Wish it was one of the other ones, which are more major, but put all the gear on. Guys, let me know if the leaves catch on fire, would you? Is that loud for you guys or what? Hopefully don't drop it inside. Alright. Looks pretty good. I'm almost right to where the frame is. So we're going to go zip down the side to that. I think a Sawzall might be my best bet for that. To get in there and get right to there. And then we'll come back and clean those edges up. We're going to open the inside a little bit, make sure there's nothing in the way that I'm going to cut into the compressor. So I drill the hole in each corner, kind of give me a start and stop point. And that's a blade I'm going to try using on the Sawzall. Let's see how well this works. The holes really didn't do anything for me. As you can tell, I had to start at an angle and do a plunge cut. If I made the holes bigger though, that probably would have been good. Blue. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. Yeah, I'll be plenty. One there, one there. That should do it. So I'm just going to go repeat that all over again, and then we'll go stick those louvers on there. And I think the compressor just being set up like it is right now, that'll be enough airflow for it. If worst case scenario, I'll make a piece of ductwork coming in right to where the fan inlet is, so it sucks air in and blows out the other side. But we'll see on that. The generator, definitely going to have to do that. But on this one, I think it's not going to generate that much heat. Hey, those are on. Let's go see what they look like from the inside first. Gotta draw a little mouth on the bottom there and a nose. We're good. That should be more than enough air for that guy right there. I don't see any problems with that. Except for my lines aren't exactly straight on the wood cuts, but I won't tell anybody if you don't. Let's see what we got on the outside. Not bad. Get my straight edges off of there. My straight edges that I rolled. Ah, now I did it. Let's keep the sun out of your eyes. It looks fine. The only thing is they don't have any support in the middle. So I may have to come behind it, probably with a block of wood or something. I'll run a screw right in the center of both of them. This one you can see is already puffed out. Well, this is puffed in. Is that such a thing? Puffed in. And they're going to get sealed up with a sealer that I picked up that was sitting next to them in Home Depot. Show you that. This is what I'm going to try. Gray flashing and construction sealant. So it was right next to the pieces that I bought. Better pertain to the same thing. Indoor, outdoor, and it's gray, and the trailer's gray. So one thing I kind of worry about, if they might rust. I'm not sure how they're going to hold up to outdoor use, but they also may be fine. So they were $13.50 a piece, so I couldn't make anything for as cheap as that. So now I gotta go figure out what to go work on next. Probably strapping the compressor down. My thoughts. Then we got a bunch of extra space around this thing yet too that I kind of want to utilize. So I may put some shelving or something on the inside of here. Maybe I'll stash the anything to do with the compressor in here, like an impact gun and extra airline. I'm gonna have an airline, probably like a 50-foot airline on a spool right here, or you know, a rim or something like that. Fire extinguisher next to it. And then if I need to tap onto that, I'll just go in the cabinet and grab another 50-foot roll, plug onto that, and extend my reach. So maybe I'll work on attaching that to the floor. My brother's coming for a visit this weekend. I'll put him to work. I'll have him help me get the toolboxes out of the basement. We'll get them set up in here. We can kind of continue on with that. Yeah. So I'm sitting here, standing here, trying to figure out what I want to do for mounting that down. And again, my first thought was to take a couple of ratchet straps, probably where the hooks are, just put some wood screws with some washers on it and screw the strap in one side and then down to the other side, and just have the ratchet snug down, probably across the tanks. Figure to run one right around here down to the floor, leave the buckle in the front so when I open the door I could release it, and probably undo it to get it out of there. Somebody made a good point too about drilling into the floor and putting like a wing nut on there. I kind of like that too, but I already bought the straps. I don't know. I'm looking at the space that's left over, and I'm looking at how much room I have on this side. One of the things, I don't know if I did or didn't talk about, was I had a feeling that this compressor, when you're running like the plasma cutter or something, is gonna run out of air fairly quickly. So I wanted to make another reserve tank, possibly in the future, like an upright 20-gallon or 30-gallon tank. And I figured that could probably fit right in this space, but I'm gonna have to kick it that way just a little bit. So what I'm thinking of doing is, again, it can still already back up another 2 inches because the wall's going to be right here. If I can take these grips off, I can cut these guys down, knock another 2 inches off, put the handles up here, and we'll loosen the air up, the regulator. I can kind of kick that maybe on a 45, so when the hose is on it, it's not trying to stab right into the wall. We can kind of rock that a little bit. I might even be able to turn it almost all the way. I just still want to be able to read the gauges though when I open the door. So I'm going to work on that, those two items, and then we'll figure out how we're going to attach it to the floor. And then again, in the future, leave us room for some expansion for air and or shelves or both, or you know. So I cut the hooks off the long end of the straps. And you can see down there that I screwed them to the floor with a couple of I forget those washers are called. They have like I'll show you in a minute, but they have a good bite around them the way they work. So I put those two on, and then I figure I'll put the, of course, the ratcheting ones in the front, and it worked out quite well. I could suck it right down. I see I cut the handles down. I knocked about 3 inches off of them. Leaves plenty of room on the other side, and you got it in your mind that everything's going to work just fine. And once in a while, it just isn't right. See what my issue is? How about now? See what my issue is? To where I set the front straps, I can't close the door. The ratchets are in the middle of the path of the door. So that door can't come down. But fortunately, I didn't cut anything back yet, so all I have to do is unscrew it. Move my screw holes probably up about 2 inches or so, and that should be able to clear right there. I was more worried that I was going to run into the stuff up here. I guess that's not going to be the case. I also decided to turn the whole assembly this direction, and as I said, the cabinet, the toolbox rather, is probably going to come right to about here. And what I'm going to do is I'll have that open space. I'm going to make a little door that I could just flip open. I could reach inside here, I could turn the on and off switch on. I could grab the regulators. The air hose shouldn't be a problem because now it's going to be facing this direction. I could, run it and again spool it to wherever I want instead of having it trying to come in and make a sharp bend to clear out here. So let me go disassemble it again, take those screws and suck them up. I'll show you what those screws I was talking about. There you go. And it's just an assortment of those guys. And they got a good, different sizes. They got a good bite on the back side of them for digging into the fabric, without letting it tear out around the screw. That's better. Now I can close the door. It's dark in there. Have to take my word, I guess. And then it's really all that nut. That's not noisy at all. Once the other side is sealed in, should be fine. See what it does once it fills up. Something's got a little bit of a rattle to it, you hear it? It's on that side. So the next thing I want to try to figure out is enclosing this side. I kind of want to wait till I get the toolbox up here and look at that and make my final decision. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just move forward. Probably wood. I don't know what benefit metal's going to have, and wood does have kind of a dampening effect to it. And you figure the enclosure is pretty much all the same. This stuff is good for noise reduction. It's got that kind of like a Lawan door, and cardboard zigzagged in between it. So all that stuff has a little bit of a dampening capacity to it. The wall is fine, and then the only thing that could have a little bit of rattle is the top, but even that's pretty stout. So I'm gonna ponder for a while, then we'll figure it out from there. Do you tell I like pondering? Someone's cooking burgers on a grill. It smells so good. So I decided to kind of hang out and just stare at the trailer. And sometimes it's a good thing to do for your thought process to just kind of look over the whole thing, stop and step back from the little picture and look at the big picture again and see how everything is going, and try to move stuff around inside your head on the floor plan, what you think the best combination of what can go together. Just kind of give yourself some time to play and play house. But I think my original floor plan is looking pretty good. That's what I was kind of thinking, any of the big pieces to move around. And across the front wall, somebody was asking about what are you gonna have for weight, where are you putting weight. You gotta watch all that. Definitely, I already thought about that quite a bit. That was most of the reason why pieces got put where they were. Again, like over the wheel wells is kind of neutral. You can do anything you want, pretty much right on that. And then a trailer roughly needs to be about 10% tongue weight of what the whole trailer weighs. To an extent, like this is a fairly heavy, could be a fairly heavy trailer. It has a GVW of 10,000 pounds, meaning everything together could weigh 10,000, including the weight of the trailer. And so putting 1,000 pounds pressure on the back of your tow vehicle can be a bit much without a weight distributing hitch. So that would probably be more realistically anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. My point is, I've thought of where I want to go put stuff, and across the front wall, well, the compressor's neutral. The welder generator, which is probably the heaviest piece that's in the whole trailer, isn't going to be in front of the wheel well, so that's already adding another. The thing probably weighs about 1,000 pounds. Yeah, we can knock a little bit off because I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Say 900 pounds. I'm going to take some of the framing away. And then the further closer to the front of the tongue, the more that weight becomes important. So if it was right across the front of the trailer, and say it's 3 feet from the tongue, it's probably effect on the tongue weight would be 600 pounds, say 2/3 of it. The closer I'm back to the wheel well here, I'm just going to be in front of the wheel well. Say it's going to affect the tongue weight by about 300 pounds. That's kind of where I'm guessing where it's going to come in. And, of course, and it's over the wheel well. It's nothing. It's neutral again. And then what's going to counter that is there's going to be a toolbox stack behind here, but I don't think that's going to be terribly heavy. I'm going to probably say that's probably going to be, we'll call that 300 pounds too. And it's effect, it's right at the wheel well, so say 1/3 of that is going to cancel out. I don't know if you guys are following the math. So that's going to have effect of 100 pounds on the tongue weight. Negative, it's going to go the other way. You know what I mean? So it took 100 pounds off of the weight of the compensating for the generator. So can you see that how it's kind of like balancing out, how I'm moving stuff around? And then there's going to be a cabinet again down the whole length of this wall, so there'll be stuff stored behind the wheel well on this side too. Some of the bigger pieces I'm thinking like a vise, a bandsaw, what else I have that's going in there? Anyway, we'll keep the suspense up. There's about 4 or 5 pieces I want to make that are going to be removable that you could take on and off the bench, because this is going to be a work area where material is going to go in. This door will be open, the other door will be open. You can cut right on the bench, but you can't have like a vise on the end of it there permanently that every time you're trying to cut material, that's in the way, So I'm going to make it so they're probably going to pop out of a socket of some sort. But anyway, so that whole wall should kind of balance itself out. And then you can kind of fudge stuff around a little bit if you find that the trailer needs a little bit more, a little bit less. But, those cabinets, I can move them around, put stuff in them. And across the front wall is supposed to be my welding cart with all the stuff on it. And that probably weighs about 300 pounds. And it's going to be against the front wall, so we'll say that it affects the tongue weight by 200 pounds. You follow my deal? The batteries, they got to go somewhere there. I think are they 80 pounds a piece? Yeah, they're up there. Yeah, I think they're 80 pounds a piece. Those 2 deep cycle batteries, so that's 160 pounds of ballast we can move around. And those might go maybe in that open space in the cabinet too. I might stack them one on top of each other, make some shelves or something for them. And on the third one, maybe put the inverter. We'll see. Or on the bottom. There's a 3,000 watt inverter that is going to go with those batteries. So if I'm doing something quick, I can run anything on AC without even firing the generator up. It'll run right off the batteries and right off the inverter. The grinders and that kind of thing. What else? Anything else? I like the lighting. They're kind of cheap, but I like the way it makes an even pattern over everything. Somebody was talking about heat. I got a gas heater, like propane indirect kind of heater. I may use that if it's really cold, but it's really cold. I'm not working. Sorry, I'm not going to be out there in 10-degree weather building stuff with this. My union tells me no. So there's going to go a fan, going to hang up on that small fan. I think it might even still be in the trailer somewhere. It's one of those kind of metal fans, but it's smaller. I'm going to hang that up in the corner on a bracket, and then you can remove it and move it around if you want to move it out the floor, or if you're working on something outside, you can face it at you. A control panel. I have a marine, I'm not sure what size boat it probably can. I'm going to guess it came out like a 26-foot cabin cruiser, kind of give you an idea of what the panel's like. And that has like a bunch of fuses and relays and switches for turning stuff on and off, and I think it has a main power and, you know, some feedback meters and stuff. Again, I gotta go dig it out, take a look at it, but I figure we'll probably run most of the stuff to one common area. Either gonna be, what I'm thinking, this cabinet coming down here, and I might even kind of kick the end of it on an angle, kind of even with the door, so stuff can still come in the door. See what I'm talking about? Come on an angle, and then maybe make a control panel right here so that you could reach in and flip stuff on and off and that kind of thing. So it's either gonna go there, or I want to put it on the end of this one where you've opened the door, you could turn stuff on and off, and you know, we'll see. That's all. I want to get the cabinets built first, and then you know, and make the big stuff claim its position, because it has to, you know. Oh, this is also, I talked about it in one of the earlier ones, but people are bringing it up. This is going to get mounted down in lower vents, etc. But I want to run the exhaust straight up. I'm going to run it right out the ceiling, and yeah, I'll have a flapper on the top of it. And I have like pellet stove tubing. It's a double wall insulated smokestack that goes chimney that will go on that. So I'm going to use that for the exhaust. I believe it's 3-inch diameter. So you know, this is probably 2 1/4. So we'll just fabric that right up to it, and it'll be less restrictive. We'll just let that run right up, and then even on the inside, it'll have that material on it, so it actually really won't get as hot as, you know, just a straight pipe. It's plus whatever I can, you know, we can put some aluminum or something around it to shield it, but that's exhaust as it stands now. And yes, that's gonna be noisy, but we'll do our best to dampen that again after it's built. This is gonna be a much hotter area too, so I kind of want to use materials that nothing wants to kind of flame up, you know, because this actually has an engine with an exhaust in it with a compressor. It's just a compressor head running, an electric motor. All right, I'm gonna go shut her down, guys, because I'm just yapping and yapping. This might even be the end of this video, probably. Let me just start cleaning up some of that, and then the 2 power strips. I'll probably run one on each side. I'm not sure. See, I'm going on again. I'm not sure if I want to run them, you know, at the base down in here, or maybe up higher across the top of the wall. I have them sideways in my other garage. My camera shut me off. It told me I was yapping too much. So I'm going to go sign off now. Anyway, guys. Again, thanks everybody for watching, commenting, subscribing. Hope to continue on this for another week or two. I think a good 5 days, and I should be able to get most of the structure built. So we'll see how that goes. That might bite me later. Hey, let's get a better idea what this stuff is made of. Got dirt on the end of it right now, but I'm gonna give it a couple of whacks and see if it chips off, or if it is tough as nails, or it handles heat or whatnot. Let's try stabbing it. Trying to chip a piece of the edge off, you know. That stuff is pretty tough. Let's get a drill. Is there a bit in it? There's a little bit in it. Hope we can cut it. Tough stuff. It's stinks. It's halfway between like metal and wood as far as its capacity to drill through it. So that may work out. Oh, heat. Guys didn't tell me. Look at the heat. think it's going to handle heat very well, but we don't know until we try, right? You guys dizzy yet? Won't stay lit. I like it. You just banged your head off the car. Hey, dummy. Charlie. Charlie. Hey. What's this?
Okay.
Charlie.
Oh, there it is.
How about you?